Hey everybody, it's Mr. S again, and I'm here to talk to you about teaching our children how to read. A lot of people always wonder what's the best way to teach our children how to read effectively. What I have found that has worked very well for me is something called Zoo Phonics. Children enjoy animals a lot and they do love learning letters, right? One common misconception that I hear all the time is when people say, they ask them, "Oh, does your child know their ABCs?" And they say, "Oh yeah, sing the song, sing the song. You know that song." And the child sings A, B, C, D. As much as that's great that they do know that song, that doesn't necessarily mean they know the letters and what it means. A lot of children end up going elemental P, and they think in their mind that's one large letter. Elemental P is the largest letter I know. And the tricky thing is, knowing the names of letters is cool, but it's not as important as knowing the sounds of the letters. Because we don't say cat, oh, that's a C-A-T. You're like, no, that's a cat. No, 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 it's C-A-T, because in their mind, C-A-T. That's what they see. They're not looking at the word and saying at. So what we have to do is break that barrier, break that wall down so that they see, oh, that's cat. How do you know? Oh, cat. And later on, yeah, we can say, that's also the letter C, that's the letter A, that's the letter T. But the most important part is that they understand how it sounds, at least a version of it, so that later on we can implement, okay, city also has a C, but the C sounds a little different. But before we jump into that, we want to just get the basics of this is what sounds like, this is what the letter is like, so that we can move forward from that point. One of the cool things about Zoo Phonics and the way they do it is they focus on the lowercase letters. Now, the reason why lowercase letters are so important is because 90% of what we write in is in lowercase letters. So if we're going to write a story, most of our letters are going to be in lowercase. Very few are going to be uppercase unless they're a person, place, thing, or at the beginning of a sentence. So most of the letters are lowercase, so it's more important that we focus on these lowercase letters than the uppercase letters, because that way the children will instantly recognize most of the language, and later on, when we introduce the big letters, it won't be such a jump. They won't be like, well, I'm not quite sure. I usually see the big letters. The lowercase is important. So here's an example of what Zoo Phonics looks like. For example, this is Alley Alligator. And Alley Alligator is A. Of course, look, on the other side, you can clearly see it's an A. But when you introduce it to the children, you just want them to be excited to see Alley Alligator and be like, oh, it's Alley Alligator. And each of the letters, they come with an action, because teaching is great when it's actually multisensory. So as much as it is visual learning and auditorial learning, we also want to throw in some kind of a movement. So when we do Alley Alligator, practice with me. Alley Alligator. Ah, ah, ah. So now, not only have I shown them a picture of Alley Alligator and let them hear Alley Alligator, ah, 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 I've also allowed them to do a movement with Alley Alligator. Because when we do things with our bodies in multi-sensory, the more we learn. The more ways we can interact with some kind of activity or object, the more we learn about it. As much as I can explain to you what snow is, you'll never truly know unless you go out into the snow and you feel it, you touch it, you taste it, you smell it. That is how you learn what snow is. Then that's when detailed language comes out. The crisp sensation that I had when I felt the gentle snow fall out of my hands as I felt the heat being taken out of my body. Just, I don't know, just crazy, anything you can think of. It all has to do with experience and the way we experience things. That's how we learn description. That's how we learn how to communicate, by experiencing things. It's hard to tell someone I'm angry if you have never been angry. Well, I've never been. I've never really been mad. So, but I guess he was mad. But if you've never been mad before, how could you tell somebody that they've been angry before? So remember, when we're teaching things, try to make them multisensory, because children learn multisensory, just like the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do children always do? Because it's easier for them to learn them when they're using their motor skills or they're moving their bodies. They learn effectively, and that's why dancers are so great too, because they learn things with movement. You know, like, oh yeah, your body just starts doing it. Your body will just start doing the dance moves, and you don't even have to think about it anymore. That's the same thing. Oh, Ally Alligator, Bubba Bear, Katina Cat. So I'm gonna be working on these letters, and you guys are more than welcome to tag along on this adventure and work with me. And don't be afraid to make the sounds and the movements, because remember, if you make learning fun, they'll make learning fun. So if we want our children to learn effectively, we have to make it fun. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any more questions about phonetics or talking to children about learning their letters, ask away. Hit the subscribe button if you guys want to see all the letters being presented, and let's get our children reading. Okay, thanks everybody. See you later.